Okay, so the first task is to know your needle driver. If you look at the tip of the needle driver, only one of these blades closes, the other stays static. So in general, the static blade should always be on the bottom of the needle and the dynamic blade should always be on top. On most needle drivers, that means that the trigger is at your index finger. However, on the needle drivers in your lab, that puts the trigger at your thumb. So by doing that, when you grab a needle in space, you can come just underneath it and grab your needle without the needle moving, whereas if you have it upside down, then everything moves out of position. Dyed suture when I put these in the abdomen because they're easier to see. Now when you want to bring your needle in the belly, I typically hold it just behind the needle, forehand, as if I was going to use it, but just behind the needle, and then I bring it through the trocar. When you bring it through the trocar like that, you see that its natural desire is to come in a way that you can grab it. So learning to manipulate the needle is often the trickiest part. Generally, I grab the tip of the needle with the tip of the hunter grasper, release the needle. Now I rotate the hunter such that it opens parallel to the ground. This allows me to pirouette the needle in whichever direction I feel appropriate. Once I have the needle in the right direction, then I can grab it in space. Again, using the static blade on the bottom and grabbing the needle. Now if there's ever a question as to whether the angle of the needle is appropriate, all you have to do is lay the needle over the tissue. I know that if I lay the needle at this angle, the needle will go straight across. So out here, the needle angle may look completely wrong, but once you bring it to the tissue, you know that the angle is right. If that angle were not right, then simply grab the needle tip to tip, turn the needle using the suture, and again, grab it in space to get the desired angle. So once you have the angle you want, go through a tissue, again, usually in 2 bites. Always try not to torque on the tissue too much. Grab it in space once again, and complete your bite. When you're pulling the suture through, it's important to not tear the serosa of the tissue. Typically this will be small bowel or stomach. And so I'll fulcrum the suture like this to help take any tension off the tissue. Now pull it such that your tail is nice and short. Now for tying your knot.